And still in the nation's capital, security has been tightened in Abuja and heavy weaponry deployed to strategic locations. But residents and business operators are apprehensive in the wake of growing threats of terror attacks. And Sifon Essien reports.
Residents of Abuja go about their businesses but with some concerns over security. Reports have continued to make the rounds of plots by terrorists to attack the nation's capital, triggering apprehension. The federal government's directive shutting down the federal government college Kwali in the wake of the security breaches in Kwali has forced schools to hurriedly shut down for the session. At this school in the Buhari Area Council, parents scramble to pick up their children.
Majority, they are thinking they will not return to the school because the surrounding is no longer safe. Why will I return a daughter back to a school whereby the next moment you start hearing the sound of the machine gun? The security network, well, we are seeing soldiers now manning war weapon everywhere. But that's not all about it.
Further down the road is a Nigerian law school, which according to reports was the target of a plot by terrorists. We were not allowed to film inside the school, but normal activities are ongoing within the premises except that ceremonies for the call to bar scheduled to hold in the premises have now been shifted elsewhere. Outside the premises of the law school, there are growing concerns over security.
I feel so disappointed. I feel so discouraged even to come back to this place again, because earlier I was here since 1999 up to this point. I've never had or been encountered with such experience that I had yesterday night. So I'm very, very disappointed.
Despite the deployment of heavy weaponry by security forces, residents are anxious. There is an air of apprehension. Residents and indeed business operators say any further breach of security within the area council would have far-reaching consequences. What they want at the moment is for the federal government to take proactive measures to ensure security of lives and property in the entire area council. Sifon Essien, TVC News, Abuja.
I have joining me to talk about the rising insecurity, a security and intelligence consultant, Abu Adams. Good to have you join us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be with you this afternoon.
So I want to begin from where one of the respondents said in that report that we just played. He talked about being in the nation's capital since 1999, and that he's quite disappointed at the state of security at the moment because according to him, he's not seen something like this before. If we can have this kind of security threat in the nation's capital, what does that say about security, the state of security in general in the country?
Well, I mean, it is obvious that virtually everywhere is a threat. It's a target now for the terrorists. And if you look at what has been going on, from time to time, they continue to gain new grounds. They are the one gaining new grounds by way of attack. Massive one for that matter. Remember the attack on security forces in Niger. You remember, the Kuje is still fresh. And the aftermath of Kuje, of course, is certainly going to be Abuja and such other cities that they think they can make maximum impact. Don't also forget that it's like those of them that are real terrorist groups, not just bandits, have heightened their ransom if they have to release. They now talk of hundreds of millions of 50, 20, and that kind of thing. So far, they have been having a massive resources to acquire more armaments and then carrying out their dastardly act. So that virtually everywhere is their target is not something, again, that anybody can debate. Even the forests, they are there. They are not safe. You cannot just move in anyhow. The roads are not safe. And so we are where we are now. There's hardly anywhere that is not threatened, so to say.
And let's talk about intelligence. I think it was the Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, I'm trying to remember who that was, that talked about the fact that about 40 intelligence reports were received before the attack on Kuje Correctional Facility. What is the problem here? What are the gaps that you notice? Because again, I think the Minister of Interior also talked about it, and that he mentioned that there was no willingness to act. But for you as a security consultant, an intelligence consultant, what do you think the gap is when it comes to intelligence?
I think for intelligence, I don't think in this war that we are facing there is so much of inadequate intelligence. I think what we are having in most cases is the fact that intelligence not being properly utilized as at when due. Don't forget that one of the key factors that is central to intelligence is timeliness. Timeliness of acquisition of that intelligence, timeliness of the consumer, that is the stakeholder, whoever that may be military, maybe government, to make use of it appropriately. So if you have intelligence and you say the tasking organizations, if they don't have the capacity, for instance, capacity in terms of personnel, capacity in terms of training, capacity in terms of technology, capacity in terms of even motivation to move simultaneously. I mean, you might not use that intelligence for the purpose, because intelligence in its definition is that kind of information that is processed that can be used for security operations. And so when the facilities to use them are not there, it will not give you.
Let me ask you, because now that we have information in the open, I think in the last video that was released by the bandits, they talked about the plans to breach security in other parts of the country. How should we be reacting to this and putting that information to use?
I think what we should do now is that I've said this several times. Let me just go straight to the issue. That as far as this country is today, I don't see anything in modern world, anything far from the fact that we are at war, because various places in this country there are threats and there are attacks virtually on a daily basis. Even after this, you have heard about the attack in Kaduna the other time. I think 2 nights ago, and several other places that are even unreported. So if you agree that we are in a war situation, what do you do when you are in a war situation? And of course, what we should be doing is that we provide massive resources, mobilize the citizenry in terms of recruitment and training, and in terms of involvement of the civilian population with the political will to do the needful all the time. Because while this is going on, politics seems to be taking the center stage in our country. Yet the country is not that secure.
It does seem as though we have now moved on from the security crisis and facing the politics ahead of the 2023 elections. We'll see how government continues to respond to this crisis. Thank you so much for talking to us, security and intelligence consultant Adam Sabo.